Welcome to Steel Curtain Productions. Please hit the likes and subscribe down below in your right hand corner. Muchly appreciate that. Share it with your friends and family. That goes a long ways into building this community as we try to grow. And we got the regular season coming close. And if you come across the channel, please don't leave without hitting the subscription and hit the likes and follow. Again, leave your comments. Muchly appreciated. Just keep them civil. We kind of have a respect factor on this particular podcast channel of respecting one another, so everybody's entitled to their opinions and their views, and we keep it that way, respectful. Now, this channel particularly is done a little differently, whereas we don't run off a lot of hype, clickbait, or just rumor land. We tend to stick with the facts as they fall. And that's just something integral I find is important the way I view running this channel. I'm just not into all that. I'd rather stick to the straight facts. Now, let's get to it. And as I'm playing catch up, this will put me right back up to pace as the summer schedule's been a little rough. We're almost out of it. Uh, Again, this is the final game of the preseason against the Panthers. The Steelers came out with a 19-10 victory. However, I still see a flaw, major flaw, and I'm through just watching um, the highlights and plays of this game, these exhibition games. I see the passing game still, to me, has a lot of question marks to it. Protection of the quarterback, just getting I'm not sold on what I've seen in exhibition. However, exhibition to me is always neither here nor there. I don't really put a lot of stock into it. However, my concern is, since again you knew my stance, I would have rather seen us under Russell Wilson and Fields to continue that route. We didn't. We went all in on Rodgers, which I think, in my opinion, is a mistake. Yes, we know Rodgers has always had an accurate arm. But he's at such a late stage in his career, at the end of the road. I just think this was not his ship had sailed. That's how I feel, and I feel there was still more left to a young quarterback, and a veteran mentoring him would have been a better situation. Because what I'm seeing in preseason, Mason Rudolph to me has taken steps backwards. I'm kind of surprised, actually, because he was usually reliable as a third string quarterback, but I don't like what I've seen out of him in preseason. I'm not even sold on the other quarterback. What's his name? Sky Thompson. Just bad decisions I see. So I'm really not sold on what happens if Aaron Rodgers goes down. Now, like I said, I think the Steelers keep avoiding wanting to fall towards the lower stack of teams in the NFL and want to make the playoffs so bad. It's great to make the playoffs, but you're really shooting yourself in the foot. In advancement, you lose out on a lot of good picks, which they need an elite quarterback in this draft coming. And I pray to God, I hope we're not just going to be a team that makes the playoffs again, because we're going to miss out on the good quarterback, which this draft coming in 2026 has a good forecast for several quarterbacks. But you got to be at the top of the draft to get at them. And so I feel we're shooting ourselves in the foot, avoiding a retool. Um, my concern, as I just said, if Aaron Rodgers goes down, I think we're in big trouble, because we don't even have a reliable, like at least last year we had Russell Wilson and Fields, and that was fairly reliable. You had two guys. When you only got one guy that you can count on, and if he goes down, and make no mistake, the opposition's going to be, I'm sure, especially the teams within our division, going to try to go after uh, Aaron, and knowing that the Steelers, that's really all they got as QB. That's going to be problematic. I'm very, very, very concerned. So, watching the preseason again, I'd rather see this sort of outcome than have us flying high like we have in the past, and then be a disappointment when the season and playoffs come. So that's one thing. But again, I just think the Steelers have stacked too many potatoes into Aaron Rodgers. Um, I know we've really seemed to be just grabbing a lot of ex Falcons. That concerns me. There's that connection. That's just too far into that. There are too many other organizations that have much more talent than the Falcons. Sorry to say that, but it's the facts. And we just keep using Smith's um, attachment prior to the Steelers as somewhere where we just keep focusing on going. I don't think it's the answer. I think it's a big mistake. That is my opinion. But we got the Jets coming on in week one. Let's hope good, great outcome. Because of course, even though, I want to see, of course, I still want my Steelers to win, but not at the cost of losing a great draft. If we're just going to be a team that just is on the wire of just missing or just getting there, I think we're making a huge mistake at getting a quality quarterback in this following draft. But go Steelers, go! Again, I see a lot of uh, alerts, red lights in what I'm seeing in the Steelers up to this point. I got a ton of concerns. I know they'll be better with their regulars in. That's great and dandy, but so will everybody else be better, right? So let's be realistic. Love my Steelers, but I gotta be honest and real. So you're seeing it from an honest perspective from an old Steelers fan. I just got to be true to what I see, and I'm very, 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 very concerned with our team going at this point. All right, so thank you for watching. Let's hope that we're all, I'm going to hope that I'm proven wrong. I always do. I hope that they just shock us and win a Super Bowl, but I just don't see that. Anyway, go Steelers, go! Go Steelers Nation! And you've seen it here at Steel Curtain Productions. God bless. And we'll be talking in the review of the season opener. God bless.